Hello and welcome back to the Business Notes series by CapableCo, where we take you through ideas which might help make your business fitter. So today I thought I could talk about a healthcare related question I'd been asked by one of the businesses we serve. So in this business, one of the key quality measures is hand washing. So in a healthcare scenario, if your doctors and nurses who want to do the right thing by their patients do a lot of hand washing, you'll tend to get lower rates of infection in that healthcare settings, and people will tend to die less of stuff they didn't have to die of. The problem becomes when you have a system which is very complicated and there are many components to quality. So since hand washing is only one of 100 or 1,000 things that a doctor is trying to do right in order to get the best outcomes for their patients, one of the biggest problems is trying to remember to do such and such a behaviour, in this case hand washing. There is a psychological principle called extinction, which is when you train an animal of any kind to do a certain behaviour, and that behaviour takes energy that if you don't reinforce that behaviour, that behaviour will slowly be forgotten. Unfortunately, even the most obsessive of doctor or nurse, if you fail to reward the behaviour, eventually it will tend to become extinct. They'll intermittently maybe remember, oh, that's right, I need to do this, that, or whatever. But, you know, especially if it's not a thing which has to be done all the time, they will forget. And this is a survival trait. So the way that healthcare systems tend to treat this is they tend to employ auditors, and people are wrapped over the knuckles, and occasionally people will get rewarded, but mostly not. In your business, you can probably find equivalent examples of this, where you've actually had to, if you like, employ a person to go around and try to improve such and such a quality measure. Now, the problem with this kind of way of going about it is that as soon as the audit finishes, that the behaviour will revert to the standard behaviour, which is that it becomes extinct. Even if auditing were an effective method, which it isn't, even if it was, if you have a complex system like a health system where there are many complex behaviours which you are trying to build into a quality system, then what are you going to do? You're going to employ a physical human being to perform this minimally effective behaviour for each of these complex behaviours that you're trying to encourage nurses and doctors to do, or encourage your team to do. So essentially, if you have a really simple business with only one quality measure or something totally unrealistic like that, then yes, maybe auditing might be useful, but generally it's not. So there is a light on the horizon. The light is that the problem you're really trying to address here isn't that doctors and nurses are lazy or they don't know what they should be doing, it's that they are forgetting to do the right behaviour because it's one of 1,000 behaviours. So if instead of wrapping people on the knuckles, you take the approach of how can I remind people to do the right thing, then you're halfway to solving this problem. So I accidentally solved this problem many years ago when I was working in a health setting. I was trying to make my life a bit more efficient, and I wrote a little IT system for recording my notes and so forth, and by the by, I also inserted a little thing which said, Bing, don't forget to wash your hands. So during that time that I was using that system for a while, they actually did an audit, and I got this little prize for being the best hand washer on earth or something. And I have to say, and I sort of mentioned, guys, the reason why I do this isn't because I'm some sort of super hand washer, it's because I'm just getting reminded by my little system here. And of course then I got a rap on the knuckles because of the whole information privacy thing and so forth, and they threw the baby out with the bathwater. At the end of the day, the lesson is still there. if you want to improve the quality throughout a really complex system, then if you assume that people do want to do the right things and that most lapses in quality are in fact a situation of extinction and forgetfulness, then the right question to ask is, how can I efficiently remind people at key moments to do the right thing? And so with an IT system, especially something like CapableCo, if you can iterate a series of trials of different times when you perhaps remind people, different ways to remind people and so forth, you will generally be able to stumble across a system, a time when you can remind people, don't forget, if people turn up with chest pain, think about pulmonary embolus. Don't forget, if you're about to go and see the patient, wash your hands. Don't forget, now that you're about to turn on that machine, to put safety glasses on. Who knows? But essentially, people do want to do the right thing, but when it's a complex system, reminders are the way to go, not raps on the knuckles. So, yes, I hope that's of some interest to you. It was certainly an interesting learning experience for me when I got my little prize. Cheers, guys. Happy being capable.